Hey, what's going on, everybody? So in today's video, we're going to create a random number generator. But first, I need to explain how to create a random number in JavaScript. Let's store our random number within a variable, which we will name randomNum. To create a random number in JavaScript, we can use the random method of math. Math.random method. This will generate a random number between 0 and 1. But it looks like we forgot to output our random number, so let's do that with console.log. Console.log randomNum. This will generate a random number between 0 and 1. It will give us a number with a long decimal portion, most likely. Let's say we would like to roll a 6-sided dice. I need a random number between 1 and 6, not including the decimal portion. So the first step is that we will multiply math.random times 6. What this will do is give us a random number between 0 and 6 exclusive. Now I don't want the decimal portion. I would like a whole integer. We'll enclose this equation with the floor method of math, math.floor. Then we will enclose our equation. So now we have, oops, looks like I misspelled math. It should be capital. There. So far a random number is going to be between 0 and 5. So there's 0 and there's 5. But I need 1 through 6. We can increase the minimum by adding +1, or whatever you want the minimum to be. So now, that should give us a random number between 1 and 6. There's 6, and there's 1. For a random number between 1 and 100, I can set the maximum to be 100, math.random times 100 plus 1. So now the number is going to be between 1 and 100. If you're looking for a random number between a certain range, let's say 50 and 100, well, we're going to change our equation. Just to make this easier to read, I'm going to set two constants. Const min, what's the minimum? Let's say 50. Add the max. Const max will be 100. Let's replace 100 with our maximum, and 1 with our minimum. There's one additional change we need to make. For example, our random number is 139. We're multiplying math random times 100, our maximum, then adding an additional 50 to it. So one change we're going to make is that we will subtract our minimum from our maximum. Then I will surround this portion of our equation with a set of parentheses, just to force operator precedence. Now the random number should be between 50 and 100. So depending on the range of numbers you're looking for, you can change the minimum and the maximum. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's create our random number generator. Let's go to our HTML file. I will create a button. The ID will be myButton. The text on the button will be roll. We will roll a 6-sided dice. Within our CSS style sheet, I will set the text of the body of our document. The font family, I will set to be Verdana, because I like that font. To center align everything to make this easy, I will set text align center. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Let's work on the button. I will select the ID of my button. I will change the font size of the button to be 3em, meaning 300%. I'll add a little bit of padding within our button, 5 pixels by 25 pixels. And I will set the border radius to be 5 pixels, just to smooth the corners. We're also going to need a label, so let's go back to our HTML file. I will add a label with an ID of my label. Within our CSS style sheet, I will select the ID of my label, then change the font size to be 3em. So be sure to save your CSS file, save your HTML file. Then within our JavaScript file, we will need to get our button and the label. We'll store those within some constants. Const myButton equals document.getElementById. The ID of the element we're getting is myButton. Then we will need to get my label. Label, the ID is my label. Let's set a minimum. Const min equals, I'll set that to be 1 as if we're rolling a 6-sided dice. Const max equals 6. Then let randomNum. We'll declare our random number variable, but not assign it quite yet. Okay, when we click on the button, we'll execute a function. We will take myButton with the onclick attribute. I will set this equal to a function. What's the function going to do? It's going to roll a random number. RandomNum equals math.random times our maximum. We'll enclose this equation with Math.floor to round it. Math.floor, then add our minimum. Then we will change the text content of myLabel to display it. myLabel.textContent equals our randomNum. When we click on the button, it should roll a random number. What are we missing? Not a number. Oh, okay, it looks like I made a mistake. I forgot to add a set of parentheses after random. There we go. I'm going to put the number on a new line. So within our HTML file, I'm just going to add a break tag. There we go. Let's save everything, roll again. So I rolled a 6, 3, 1, 2, 5, 3. Let's say we would like to roll 3 dice, not just one. We'll make a few changes. I will replace my label with label 1 for the ID. Then I'm going to add a break after. Okay, let's copy our label, paste it 2 times. We'll need label 2 and label 3. I'll also give these labels a class of myLabels. We can apply CSS styling to an entire class to make it easy. Alright, within our CSS style sheet, let's replace the ID of myLabel with the class of myLabels. Be sure to save all of your files. Then, within our JavaScript file, let's replace myLabel with label 1. The ID is label 1. Copy this line of code. Then we need label 2 and label 3. Label 2, label 3. Let's rename randomNum as randomNum1. Copy it, paste it 2 times. Then we need random number 2, random number 3. Within our function for our button, change randomNum to be randomNum1. Copy this line, paste it 2 times. Then we need random number 2, random number 3. We'll change the text content of my label to be label 1 equals randomNum1. Copy this line, paste it 2 times. Change 1 to be 2. Then for the third line, change 1 to be 3. What we'll do now is generate 3 random numbers between 1 and 6, as if we're rolling 3 dice. 2, 3, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 2, 5. Alright everybody, that's how to create a random number generator in JavaScript.